Hello, and welcome back to this course around business logic. In this video, we will show you how to create buttons to trigger automation chain and automation scripting. Buttons can be added in different places inside Nuxeo Web UI. Those locations are called slots, and it defines a specific place in the UI. So you can add buttons on the document actions, blob action, on the action displayed while doing a selection, etc. If you want to explore all the default Web UI slots, just check the documentation. Then you can add filters to display or not a document. So a filter can be based on the document type, a lifecycle state, a user permission, or any value of the document properties. Inside Nuxeo Studio Modular, you can define two kinds of buttons. Buttons using the Nuxeo operation button element, used to trigger automation chain or automation scripting, and the more generic button called custom button, which allows you to display any kind of element that could be used, for example, to open a Nuxeo dialog. Let's have a look to the different properties you have to fill when creating a button. So it will ask you first where to display the action, the order, the icon you want to set. You can use custom icon if you want to, the kind of input. So if it's referring to the current document, you have to use bracket document. If the input is a selection, you have to use select items. You can indicate a tooltip, the operation that should be triggered. So you can link your button to an automation chain or an automation scripting. And finally, the kind of event which should be triggered once the operation is executed. Typically, if you update a document property, you want the page to be updated. So you have to call document updated. So let's create now two buttons to display the automation chain and automation scripting we have created previously. If you need to create a custom button inside Nuxeo Web UI, you have to navigate to Nuxeo Studio Designer, then go on the UI menu and click on the Buttons submenu. From here, you will have the list of all the existing buttons, including the default one. If you need to find only the custom buttons, just click on the Only Custom Quick Filter. So let's create now the button to trigger the automation chain updating the document lifecycle state. To do so, I have to click on the plus, then button. I need first a contribution name. I make it available to the users. I have to indicate the position of the button, so corresponding to the slot. So here we have the list of all the existing slots. On the right side, we've got an overview of the element location. So in my case, I need to use the document action slot, and I want it to in the first place, so I just set 1. We are creating a Nuxeo operation button, as indicated here. We can use the existing icons, and we can also import custom ones. So let's do it. I just click on the button and add my custom icon. I set a label. A tooltip. I don't want to display the label. Here, I indicate the automation chain or automation scripting linked to this button. So in this case, the operation was called AC University Exercise, this one. The input should be the current document. We don't have any parameters. We want to trigger notification when the operation is successfully executed. We don't need to download the current document. So this is only useful if we are making a conversion or modifying the current document and need to download it locally. We want to trigger an event once the operation is executed so that it reflects the new lifecycle state in the UI. And we can also indicate an error message. Finally, we can set activation filters. So as you can see, we can filter by types, facets, or a combination of different conditions. In our case, it's relevant to filter by a lifecycle state, so project, because we don't want to make the transition if it's already approved. And we want to make sure that the current user has the needed permission to execute this operation. And we just have to save. We have performed the same steps to trigger the automation scripting, initializing the domain. So the only difference here is that we are triggering our automation scripting. They are all prefixed by JavaScript dot. We want to refresh the current listing because the operation would be triggered from the root document. And we just make sure that the button is displayed at the root level and that the user belongs to the administrators group. Let's see what happens when we hot reload a default Nuxeo installation. So if we refresh our interface, we can see now that we've got our new custom button that is created. Our current lifecycle state is in project. If I click on this button, we can see now that it has moved to approve. And we have defined other operations like creating a version and a publication. It has been done correctly into the My section. If we go now to the root, we have our new custom icon to initialize the repository. If I just click on it, we can see that the default domain has been deleted and that our two custom domains were generated correctly, the finance one and the human resources one. Thanks for watching.